Captain America Brave New World is directed by Julius Ona and stars Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, and Giancarlo Esposito. It tells the story of Sam Wilson, who has now become Captain America and must unmask a terrible conspiracy in order to save the President of the United States. It's hard to go in this new Captain America movie and not think about Chris Evans, who is my favorite actor in the MCU, and he plays my favorite superhero of the Marvel series. I absolutely love Chris Evans, Captain America. I think that he inspires the good in all of us, and he perfectly captured the character. I think that he was phenomenal in the role. I really do. And it's hard to follow in his footsteps. I understand that Marvel wanted to go in a different direction. But when you had Sebastian Stan, who I think had a lot more charisma than Anthony Mackie has, it's kind of hard to understand their reasoning behind the decision. Because Anthony Mackie here is serviceable, he's alright, and it kind of like shows how limited he is as an actor. I think that he's great in a supporting role, like he was great as the Falcon. I thought that he was perfect, actually. You could have kept him as the Falcon, and it would have been a much better decision. Don't make him like the leader of the Avengers. That's a terrible idea, because I don't think that he's that good of an actor. It's unfortunate that we are here right now, because Brave New World isn't really all that great. It's not really a good Marvel movie, unfortunately. It's got a ton of problems. It's very forgettable. It's mostly bland at the end of the day. It's not terrible, but it's just like very mediocre. There are some entertaining action scenes here in this movie, but they are very clunky. I didn't think that they were really just special at all. It feels like very standard stuff that we've seen in other comic book movies, and better comic book movies, and better Marvel movies. Like, we've seen better action scenes filmed in Captain America Winter Soldier, which is 100 times better than Brave New World. This movie has a couple of good character interactions. Captain America has this new like Falcon protege under his wing. I like this character. I thought that his character was done well. I like the actor that played him, and I like the chemistry that he had with Anthony Mackie. Harrison Ford, I think, is great as President Ross, and it's hard not to see him like as a caricature for Trump. Like, it really feels like that. I don't know if they're regretting this movie now because of like the political landscape that America is in right now, but it feels like they sort of backed themselves into a corner. They had a lot of problems on set, and I feel like they didn't want to be all that political, and they sort of backtracked because they didn't want people to be upset at the political message in this movie. I think that it was a mistake to put Red Hulk in the marketing. It really was a mistake, because it ruins sort of the surprise of the movie. If you had kept Red Hulk under wraps here, it would have been a much more satisfying finale, but you already knew that Red Hulk was coming. So the surprise of your movie is already like just completely unraveled before you come into the theater, and I think that is disappointing. Like, I think that the first few phases of Marvel wouldn't have shown Red Hulk here, but we are not at the first few phases of Marvel. We are at phase 5 of the MCU, and I think that they feel like they need to get people back on board, and they did it with Red Hulk. And I want to talk about the politics, because the politics in Brave New World are just so cheesy. They're really badly written. The lines here are just awful, and it takes you out of the film, because like, you know that like politicians or just people of the army wouldn't talk like that. It just feels really cringeworthy. It's really just terrible dialogue, and I think that this script was written by multiple people, and it just shows. The script is not very good. The story sort of goes all over the place, and the villain here is really laughably bad. He is uninteresting. Like, you sort of understand his motivation. I got it, but it's very thin. He doesn't have really all that much to do, as does Giancarlo Esposito, who is a great actor. I like Giancarlo Esposito in stuff. Like, I like seeing him pop up, but it does feel like Giancarlo Esposito is sort of getting typecast nowadays. Yeah, he was really underutilized. You barely see him in this movie, and it feels like he was added during the reshoots, because characters doesn't feel really all that necessary to the overall plot of the film. Yeah, the villains here are just really bland. They're like one of the worst Marvel villains that we've had. I didn't like them at all, and I just didn't feel the stakes in this movie. The movie isn't really all that exciting, and I think that it's because the way these action scenes are filmed, they're really nothing all that remarkable. They're very standard stuff. And I like that this movie is sort of a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. It's a sequel to Eternals. It's a sequel to the Captain America series. I kind of like that. I kind of like that it stands on its own too. Like, I thought that part was done rather well. But yeah, overall, this movie feels very bland. It feels very forgettable. I'm probably not gonna remember it like a week from now. It's definitely like bottom tier of the Marvel movies, and it's kind of hard to get behind Marvel nowadays, because like they made a great film with Deadpool and Wolverine, and they sort of laughed at themselves. Like they sort of accepted their failures. But right after that, you just make a terrible film. You don't make anything great after that. So, are they really all that self-aware? Like, I just don't understand. I want to talk about the end credits here a little bit, because the end credits are completely meaningless. You already know the information that they give you, and they make you wait for 5 whole minutes until you finally see the end credits. It's like, fuck you, Marvel. You could have easily put the end credits scene at the beginning and not make me wait until the very end for something that I already know. You could have shown anything here at the very end. You could have teased some of the new Avengers. I hope that Thunderbolts is great. I hope that Fantastic Four is great, and I hope that the next 2 Avengers movies are fantastic, because if they aren't, I think they are really in trouble. And this movie is very mediocre, to be honest, and I just hope that the next projects are better than this, because they are going to be in trouble. And I think that it's too bad, because we're way past the glory days of Marvel. But I'm really hoping that like Doomsday is awesome, and that Secret Wars is great. If they aren't great, I'm gonna feel really bummed out. Those are my thoughts on Captain America Brave New World. I'd give this movie like a C+. I think it's fine. It's serviceable. It's not all that offensive. Like, you can watch it and be mildly entertained, but nothing other than that. Let me know what you think about Brave New World down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.